Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Sanga, broadcasting from Janardhan Yoga Studio in Novi Sad, Serbia. Novi Sad, actually, it's Petrovaradin in Serbia. Welcome, everyone. And we have a live audience here. Shh. Yeah. Okay. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganam Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Jai Jai. So let's see, let me check first. Are we okay with translation? We have Soumya Karani translating into Ruski. And let's see. Prema Sarovara, are you translating?
No, Guru Maharaj, Gopi Krishna.
Gopi Krishna. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
good. Gopi Krishna, yes, I see. Because I see also Yasho Devi is here, it seems. And who else from China? And what about Espanol?
Yes, Tirtharaj Prabhu is translating.
Tirtharaj.
Yes.
Tirtharaj is.
And Dira Lalita to creation.
Oh, good. Okay. No German, huh?
No German today, yes.
No German. Sorry, Marisha Sudevi, but your English is getting better, right? She's smiling. I don't know. Okay. For those of you here live, you might want to connect with your phone so you can see the text. We're going to be reading and then singing. So we can go to our Chaitanya Mongol. Share. Chaitanya. Chaitanya. Yeah. Okay. Now you have to keep the volume off because otherwise we'll have lots of echoing. And let's see, a little technical question, Odari Chandrika.
Yes, Guru
Now
Maharaj.
I have online, I've put up this text. I'm wondering how much of it is on your screen. So I have text 84, 85, 86, 87, 88.
Yes, I can see all of this.
You can see all of this.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. So let's review a little bit what's been happening. Yes, little Nimai had a temper tantrum after playing like a monkey and getting chased by his mother. He runs home and he breaks all of the pots in the house and everything else. And then and Sachi is filled with love and hugs him and says, "My bad boy. Aisa kole kari bole more dulalia. So I think this is a nice picture to have in mind. Sachimata embracing this little troublemaker, Nimai, who has just destroyed everything in the house. And she just hugs him and says, "Ah, my Moradulalia, my little nasty, my little mischievous one." Yeah. Welcome. And she says, "I should keep you away from all these things in the house." Well, it was too late, apparently. We don't hear what happened. Maybe it'll come later, but we don't hear what Jagannath Mishra how he will react when he comes home. Interesting, it says, Bhujite napare shachiputre chatri. Oh, I meant to look up that word chatri. She was not able to understand her son's mind, which one way to appreciate that is she's not trying to understand it. She is just we could say in a state of wonder, adbhuta. So I think it's nice. I think it's nice to keep in mind this rasa of adbhuta as a kind of underneath, a kind of background. Hare Krishna, as a kind of, in musical terms, I don't know. If I say drone, it sounds boring, but like you have in classical Indian music, there will be tambura playing, and then the singer will sing his or her raga sort of above the tambura. But that tambura gives a kind of foundation sound. And it may be helpful if we think about all of what we read. We can say all of what we read in Shastra has this kind of drone, this underneath foundation of wonder. And if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of specifically stated by Kavi Karnapura in his works on poetry. He wrote on poetic theory, and I believe he says like that, Adbhuta rasa is foundational. And just before we start today's verse 83, Lokaveda agochar charitra apar udhatya janila shachi nabuji bebhar. The shoreless ocean of his pastimes is beyond the knowing of the Vedas or of the world. Sachi had no power to understand his wild arrogance. Yeah, so Lokaveda agochar, beyond the range of understanding, suggests also this idea of wonder. All right, verse 85. Oh, and then there was this strange paradox. Dukkha bhave sachi devi shonare gosai. With an unhappy heart, she meditated on the Supreme Lord. Dukkha bhave sachi shonare gosai. So, dukkha bhave, so in an unhappy mood. But then before she was feeling all kinds of affection. Yeah, it's complicated, isn't it? Love is a complicated thing. Okay, 85. Akodina parinatta ani jatanari puchilen shobakare anunoi kari. One day, meeting with the other women, she placed before them a question and a request. So nari, of course, means women, and ekadin, one day, parinatta ani, I don't know, going around and meeting. Puchilen, puchna is question, to question. Shabakare, anunoi kari. Anunoi, I guess, is request. Koto shadhe putra more dilen gosai kipta mat acharana buddhi kichunai. She said, my son is very frivolous. He acts whimsically. He does not use his intelligence. Now, I don't know, Putra More, my son, Dilen, should mean something like gave. Koto sadhe, how much, I don't know, how much trouble? But Gosai, what is that about? Gosai means Goswami, but I don't, she's not referring to her son. Maybe she's addressing the women as Gosai, I don't know. Kshiptamata. Kshipta means thrown. To throw is kship. And so I guess that's whimsical. Acharan buddhi. His buddhi is acharana, is going too wild or too intense, maybe. Acharana. It's running. But kichunai, not at all. So his good running intelligence is not there. Kshiptamata acharana buddhi kichunai. 87. Ekkakare arabale bhujite napari achara vichara kichu nakare vichari. He does one thing and says another. I have no power to understand him. He does not consider whether his actions are pure. So ekko kare, doing one thing, ekko, aro, and bole. Oh, ara in this case, I guess, is like anya, something else. So ekakare arabole, he does one thing and says something else. Bhujite napari, I can't understand this. Achar vichar kichu na kore vichari. So achar, of course, is behavior, and vichar is considering, thinking, reflecting. Kichu na kare. And vichari is one who thinks or reflects, one who is thoughtful. So he's just acting wildly and he doesn't think about it. Sounds like a lot of kids, right? Shuni shabe khandite lagila dukkha bore kole kari gora chande shabe meli bale. Hearing this, the ladies sadly wept. Meeting Lord Gaurachandra, they hugged him and said, ... So Shuni, hearing that, and I think this would be an abbreviation of Suniya, having heard this, Shabe Kandite, they all are crying, Lagila, they began to cry, Dukkho bhare, burdened with sadness, I guess you could say. Dukkho bhare, heavy with sadness. Kole kari, Oh, again, they're saying this is the translator, I think it's Dasharatha. No, it's not. Who's the translator now? I'm forgetting. Maybe Dasharatha Sutta. He's saying kole kari means hug, embracing, hugging. I always think kole means on the lap, but maybe it's both. Gora chande shabe meli bale. So they hugged him. Meli, I don't know. And then bale is, they spoke. And what did they say? Verse 89. Kene bappo kara et amangale shuni vishambara hoila atanta chanchale. Why, oh child, do you act so badly? Hearing these words, Lord Gora became very restless and mischievous. Now he's getting worse. More trouble. So, kene bap. So, bap is a kind of exclamation. Bap re bap in Bengali. And kene means why. Oh, why? Oh, why? Kara eta amangale. Why you do this inauspiciousness, or in a state of inauspiciousness, something. Shuni, then again, Shuniya, hearing, Vishrambar Hoila, became atyanta chanchale. He became exceedingly, restless, mischievous, chanchala. Sometimes Lakshmi, Devi, is identified as chanchala. She's here today, gone tomorrow. Dakinarigona bata paila antore shachije kahila taha dakibo shattare. Seeing this, the ladies became sad at heart. They at once saw what Sachi had described. So first she's telling them about how restless little Nimai is. And now he's showing that he's restless and mischievous. So Narigana, all of the ladies, Deki, seeing this, Dekiya, Vyata Paila Antare. Vyata means something like disturbed. Paila, they received disturbance, I guess, Paila. Antare, within, in their heart. Shachije kahila taha dakiba shatare. So, Je kahila, what was said, Shachi, by Shachi, taha, that, dekibo. I don't know why it's that form, because it seems like a future tense. Dekibo shatvare. Anyway, they saw dekana. They saw what she was saying. Kobe hoite e motto hoila putra tora sachi bole na pari sachi bole na pari kahite kichu or. The ladies asked, when did he start to act like this? Now they're being like a counselor, social workers. I don't know what to say, said Sachi. So kabe is the question word, when. Hoite is from when, kabe hoite. Emata, in this way, hoila, became putra Torah. And Torah is the extra familiar form of possessive you, so your son. So now it's interesting there, the ladies are referring to or addressing Sachi Devi in the most familiar form, not Tava, but Torah, which is a little surprising. I guess it has to be taken that because of their special affection. Sachi bole, Sachi said, na parikahite, I cannot say. Kichu or, I cannot say anything more. Akkadina ratre putra chinu kole kari ashishaba devata rahilo gore mari. One night, as I held my son in my arms, all the demigods entered my room. Okay, so now she's going back to the episode that we read some weeks before. So ek din ratre, in the night of one day, putra chinu kole kori, chinu, I don't know, holding in her arms, Asi, coming, sub devata, all the devatas, rahila, remained, ghar bari, remained in the house, in the room of the house, something like that. So Sachimata is trying to explain something. She's been quite bewildered before. The demigods were coming. That's pretty amazing, pretty bewildering. And now Nimai is acting in crazy ways. That's bewildering her even more. So she's trying to get some reassurance, some sort of clarification from her friends. She continues, Dibya Singha Sanemor Nimai Rakia Dandavata Koretara Charane Puriya. They placed my Nimai on a throne. Falling like sticks, they bowed down before him. So Divya Singhasane on a celestial throne, more Nimai, Rakia, having Rakia kept him, my Nimai on this throne, Dandavat Kore, they made Dandavat pranams, Tara Chorane Pariya, having fallen at his feet. Jagiya dekinu mui atta chamatkar, she hoite kibut tantra hoila ihar. Rising from sleep, I saw all these wonders. From that time, my son has been very independent. So Jagiya, having awakened, Dekinu, I saw Mui. So Mui is, I think, a kind of poetic form of Ami. Ami is normal Bengali I, but first person singular, but mui, I believe it's Maithili or something. Etta chamatkar, they say, what do they say? They say there was a time when some Brahmins migrated from Bengal to Mithila. Mithila is in present sort of the border area around on the south side of Nepal and North India. This was the Mithila region. And apparently they were charmed by the language, how the kind of language they spoke there. And then, if I get this right, then some returned to Bengal. And they brought this kind of new style of speaking with them. Jagiya dakinu mui etta chamatkar se hoite. So chamatkar means wonder. Etta chamatkar, this wonder. So she saw this wonder upon awakening. She hoite, from that time, kiba tantra hoila ihar. So tantra, sva-tantra means independent. Paratantra means dependent on another. And here it just says tantra. So I guess that can also indicate independence. Oila ihar. So since then, he's become very tantric. He's become very independent. Okay, let's stop there. And I'll put an underline. And then we'll go back and we'll try to sing.
Guru Maharaj, you have to change the original sound as well.
Mm-hmm. Stop share audio. Original sound. Share. Where did it go? Oh. Okay. Now we need some musical accompaniment. Anijatan nari ekadina parinata anijatan uchilen sva-kare anunayakare uchilen sva-kare Koto sadhe putra more dilen gosai Chitta motta acharana buddhi kichuna Eka kore ara bole mujhite na pari. Achara vichar kichu na kore vichari. Shuni shabe khandite lagila dukkha bhai. Kole kori gora chande shabe bheli bhai. Kene bapa koro ettamangale. Shuni vishambara hoila atanta chanchale. Daki narigana vyata koila antare. Sachi je kahila ta dakiva shattare. Kave hoite e mata oila putra to. Sachi bale na pare kahite kichu ora. Ekadina ratre putra chinnu kole kari. Ashishaba devata rahila garha gori. Divya singhasane mor nime. Divya singhasane mor nimai rakhiya. Dandavata kore tara charane pariya. Jagiya dakinu mui atta chamatkar. Se hoite iba tantra hoila iha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Okay, so again, welcome everyone, all of you who have joined a bit later, especially. We are in Petrovaradin in North Serbia, the wild north of Serbia. And since we've just read about Lord Chaitanya's childhood wildness, I think we could read a little about little Krishna's wildness from Sursagar. We read a verse last time, didn't we? From Sursagar. I don't remember which one. Hopefully this won't be the same one. But it's, I guess, continuing this saga of Damodar making trouble all over the neighborhood because he breaks in and takes the milk and the yogurt and makes trouble. Okay, this is Surdas, and so this is the Brajbhasha. And I may have already mentioned, but when we say Surdas, it means attributed to Surdas. We don't ever really know what he wrote and what others wrote and signed his name to. Okay, Gayesham Gvalini Gar Sunai. Sham went into the milkmaid's empty house. Gahe Sham Gvalini Gar Shune. Shune, I think, is empty. Makan Kai Dari Shab Gorasa Vasana Pari Kiye Shab Chunai. He ate the butter, so butter is makan, makan kai, poured out all the milk, darisa gorasa. Gorasa is milk, the rasa of the goat. And dari, I guess, is poured out. Broke the pots and smashed them to bits. Seems we've heard this sort of thing before. Nimai, is Nimai thinking, is he in the mood of Damodar, smashing pots? Maybe. So, Dari Sab Goras, Basan Hari Kiye Sab Chune. Sab Chune, I think, is smashing, pulverizing. Basan. Anyway, Barao mata ik bahut dinani cow tahi karyao das tuka. One big earthen jar, ages old, he reduced to 10 pieces. One big earthen jar, baro mata ik bahut din ni. Many pieces, I guess, and baro mat ik, I don't know. I thought it meant a brick, but I don't know. Tahi karyaho, das, tuk. So das is 10. Karyo, he made tahi, then I guess he made into das tuk, 10 pieces, tuk. Then Shobata Larikani Chiraki Mahi Sao Hangsat Chale De Kuka. The sound is so funny. Sprinkling the sleeping boys with earth, he went off shrieking with laughter. Shrieking means yelling very loud in a very high voice. That's to shriek. Shriek, kids do this all the time when they're running around playing. They shriek, right? They don't just laugh, they shriek. They scream, yeah. Okay. So, Sovat Larikani, Chiraki Mahi Sao. So Sovat Larikani, I guess, is all of the boys. Larikani with the boys. Sobat, all. Chiraki Mahi Sao. Mahi, I think, is earth. and chirki, sound, I guess is sprinkling, something like that. Hangsat chale de kuka. So hangsat, laughing, chale de, he let himself run off, run away, you could say. Kuka, I suspect, means shrieking, something like that. Ad gai gvalini tihi ausar nikasata hari dhari paye. The milkmaid came at that moment and caught the absconding hari. Absconding means running away. So let's see. Ad gai kvalini. Kvalini, of course, means gopi. Tihi osar. I don't know. Anyway, she came in. Nikasata hari gari paye. Nikasata would be, I guess, absconding, running away. And hari is hari, and dhari pai. She grabs him. She holds, gets him, something like that. Deke ghar basan sab hute dud dahi how is it? Tarakaye. Tarakaye. So deke ghar basan sab hute. Seeing, okay, the translation here is she saw all the pots in the house broken. Sabhute, everything broken. All the vasan, I guess, is vessels. And the curds and yogurt spilt. The dud, dahi, tarakaye. Tarakaye would be spilled. Okay, dou bhuj dari garhe, kari लीन है गाय mahari ke आगे आगे. There's this kind of nasal sound. She seized his 2 arms, took him firmly, and went before Yashoda. So do bhuj, both arms, dari, taking, gare kari, लीन है, yeah, taking. Gai mahari ke age. Mahari must mean the mother. Ke age, again, in front of. She took in front of his mother. And then the last line, Surdas ab base kon hyan pati rahi hai braj tyagain. So Surdas says, who could live here now? Only by leaving Braj can one's honor survive. Okay, this is in quotation marks. So Sur is taking the voice of these women, or this woman who, this gopi who has brought, she's caught Krishna and brought her before Mother Yashoda. Or could it be Mother Yashoda speaking? No, I don't know. I think it's the other gopi who could live here now? So it's a rhetorical question. How can I live here in Braj? It's so embarrassing. But that could be Yashoda being embarrassed. Only by leaving Braj, patirahi hai Braj tyagain, and leaving Braj. Pati, I guess, is honor, and rahi hai would be to maintain, to keep. Surdas abbase kong hyang. Okay. So in this way, little Damodar is also a mischievous one. And Nimai seems to be in that same mood. Hare Krishna. So, okay. What is our subject today? Well, one thing I was starting to explore just this morning is, I'll have to share the screen. Let's see now. Yeah, share screen. And then we go to Obsidian this time. Here we are. Okay, and this we can close. Yeah. Okay, there is, so the subject I thought is interesting to reflect on a little bit is obstruction in our life experience. Yeah. So one verse in the Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, verse 32, spoken by Sanat Kumar to King Prithu, says, there is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking other subject matters to be more pleasing than one's self-realization. Interesting, isn't it? There is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking other subject matters to be more pleasing than one's self-realization. I looked up, you can do this yourselves if you have Vedabase, is search the letters VIGH and then put a star next to it, which means it can have any ending. It can be Vigna, it could be Vignena or Vignam or something else. Vigna means obstacle, and you'll find several references. I think I found 8 in the Bhagavatam and several more in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But what I wanted to share, I don't know how you'll take this. This is a quote I just came across from a writer, Bayo Akomolafe. He is from Nigeria, and he has a very striking style of writing. And he's written a book called These Wilds Beyond Our Fences, Letters to My Daughter on Humanity's Search for Home. So I'm going to read through this very slowly because his language is quite dense and translation could be a challenge. He speaks very positively here of obstacles. He says, an obstacle is the richest, thickest, densest place in the universe. This is so because it is where things stop and often die, failing to continue on their way. It is where carcasses, dead bodies of hope, rot into the ground, inadvertently fertilizing it. Inadvertently means not intentionally. It is a place of desperation and longing and roaming ghosts, bursting with activity, with microbial adventures, with dancing generativity, with experiments into discontinuity or continuity, with playful meanings and alchemical shifts, with eloquent invocations and stuttered words. So he's still describing obstacles. When you meet something fierce, too strong to overcome, too high to climb, too eminent to sidestep, too dark to enlighten, don't take it personally. You have merely met an antibody whose sacred task is to challenge you, discombobulate you. Discombobulate, it means totally confuse you. Disfigure you and introduce you to the strange vastness of your family, a larger commonwealth of becoming. Hare Krishna. I just thought I would put that out there. Yeah. I thought it's interesting because we always think of obstacles as, obstacles in negative ways. But he is kind of turning it backwards and forwards and saying, what if you think of an obstacle as something wonderful, as an opportunity? Yeah. That's just part of that's an excerpt from his book. I don't have his book. I just came across a sort of, not exactly a review of the book, but something referring to his book, which, as we saw, the title is, or the subtitle is Letters to His Daughter. And it's mentioned in there's a short biography of him mentioning that when Akomalafe was young, I think when he was 15 years old or something. He lost his father. And he's kind of thought very deeply about that ever since. And he kind of wants to deal with it. He studied psychology at university in the hopes that that would deal with it, his feeling of loss. And then he realized, no, it didn't work. All it did was sort of try to superficially cover over his sense of loss. Anyway, I've seen other things he writes. He has a very, this is his style. I think it's very, very rich. Yeah. What else? Something else? There was something else, but any news and views or show and tell from any of you today? I know what they say, no news is good news. So that can be taken two ways. No news is good news. It's good that there's no news. Huh?
No obstacles.
No obstacles. Yeah. No news, no obstacles. Exactly. Yeah, in a way, if you think about it, we're surrounded by obstacles. You could say our existential condition is one of being surrounded by obstacles. And yet, despite all the obstacles, here we are. That's pretty amazing. Despite all the obstacles. Yeah, some physicists will say that it's especially those who are arguing for intelligent design, they will say it cannot be an accident that the conditions for life on this planet are the way they are. That if one or another factor would change by a very tiny amount, there would be no life. Yeah. So here we are. And we're doing so many things. And the sky is blue and the clouds are floating by and the sun is circulating, or rather the earth, whatever it is, sun, earth, I don't know, one or the other, maybe both. Yeah. Okay, let me share one other thing, if there's nothing from you. Another possible food for thought. Now, I'll have to first look for this. Bear with me. Avantika. Okay, so a few days ago, we were happy to meet Vainateya and Avantika in Subotitsa. And we were talking about various things. I had lunch at their place, and one thing Avantika does is translate into German. And she wanted to share with me something, but am I doing now? What happened? Share. She wanted to share something with me about karma that she's translating from some Tibetan Buddhist text. And the reason this came up, okay, can you all see that? Maybe I need to move.
We can see Guru Maharaj.
Good, okay. Yeah, reason this came up is because we have, I am told by Vrindaranya Gopal in Mayapur, we now have termites in Godruma Kutir, and they're having a feast on anything made of wood. And just yesterday, Sundari Mataji told me, oh yes, she said, termites are everywhere in Mayapur. And I was thinking, oh, what are we going to do? Do we have to exterminate them? And if we do, that's not nice. Here I am supposed to be preaching about animal ethics, you know. So Avantika sent me this short excerpt from what she has been translating from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. The basic idea of it is that when you know you're doing something bad and you've kind of, it just has to be done, you want to sort of minimize the karmic effect. And so there are ways that they understand this can be done. Let's read what it says. If we have to commit a negative action, we try not to have all these factors for heaviness be complete. So this is an excerpt. Before this, it's been elaborating, and it's very elaborate. Factors for heaviness, it's called. For instance, if we simply must fumigate for bed bugs, so replace with termites, we try to do the action with as little a disturbing emotion or attitude as possible, causing the minimal amount of suffering as infrequently as possible, and countered with such positive actions as openly admitting that what we are doing is wrong. Immediately invoking the opponent forces of regret and so forth. We try not to be like the classic example of someone who has all 6 factors complete. So again, this is Tibetan Buddhism with all kinds of categories and subcategories of all things related to karma. 6 factors complete. A professional slaughterer. Okay, I think this is an example of what would be all the bad things. A professional slaughterer who is always negative and never does anything positive, who kills his parents out of great anger by means of the 9 most awful kinds of torture. Hare Krishna. So they have even categories of types of torture. Hare Krishna. Okay, a little backing up. we try not to be like the classic example of someone who has all 6 factors. I mean, that's pretty bizarre. A professional slaughterer who's always negative, never does anything positive, kills his parents out of great anger by means of the 9 most awful kinds of torture. I have to laugh because it's just so little bit bizarre. So what do we think of this? I don't know what to think of this. I'm thinking about termites, and it says, having as little a disturbing emotion or attitude as possible. So being sort of, I guess, in a mood of, I don't have anything against you personally, my dear termites.
Killing them softly.
Killing them softly. Killing them softly. Yeah. I would feed you prasadam first if I could, if you would eat it. Offering the poison first to Krishna? No. No, we can't do that. But as I just now read this, a kind of very scary thought came to me, and that is the Holocaust. How was the Holocaust processed? Those who were actually doing the work of taking these Jewish people and putting them in these furnaces and closing them and turning on the gas. Apparently their mood was, we're just doing our job. We're just, and that was the argument of, what's his name famously, who was tried, not Goebbels, I want to say Erdmann, something like that. He was tried in Israel, and Hannah Arendt wrote famously that it was about this case. She wrote that it was, what was the word she used? It was just mundane evil, so to say. Anyway, I'm just thinking aloud, and that just came to my attention. Hare Krishna. Any thoughts about any of this? Oh, Darya Chandrika, yes.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. I mean, I have also some bugs appeared here in our home, and
True
it's
confession.
Really true confession, really, and it's a headache, definitely. And I didn't know what to do. First, I read what is possibility as with nature, if I can say it like that. So I tried with essential oils because I read it that they hate rosemary fragrance. So I put all around the kitchen and everything, and of course they came back. So then I was like, oh, what should I do? And then I vacuumed them, Yes, yes. And after, I mean, I did it like, I mean, every day, whenever I was in the kitchen, there were some bugs there. So immediately I took the vacuum. I was even having vacuum in my kitchen. And then, I don't know, after 14 days of doing this, plus putting this rosemary oil also around the kitchen, that vacuum cleaner broke down. So, so then I was like, okay, is this kind of a sign from Krishna? Because it's really not nice, and they're also going into the food, and it's really not nice. So I'm happy that you have this kind of topic right now, because I also wanted to ask you what should I do, because the only option now I have to call the people who
The
come.
fumigators.
Yes, yes, they get rid with the poison. So I don't know else what to do, Guru Maharaj. So if you have any other idea.
Anyone else have ideas?
We had advocacy in LA, but I don't think they took the footage very much. Usually, you know how if you have bed bugs with pyramids, you know how in the United States they cover it, it looks like a circus stand, and then it just like put its fumigation.
Fumigation, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's interesting. What if we take the position of the bugs? They're thinking, oh, mercy, we have something to eat here. Or they're thinking, this is my home. What are those people doing here?
Last night they were fumigating mosquitoes by air slang.
Who?
Yeah.
Over the Novi Sad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I was also thinking about this all because I'm reflecting on the story of Jadabharata, who, as we all know, when he becomes the palanquin carrier for Rahugana, he's watching out for the ants. He wants to avoid stepping on the ants. And it's an amazing story because it shows his care and compassion even for the most insignificant beings. But I really don't want termites eating up Godruma Kutir, and then maybe eventually Godruma Baba. So I'm thinking about this. Oh, now Dira Lalita is chiming in. We had rats. Wait, let me see. We had rats in our room in Innisrat temple, and the temple president said, I'm taking responsibility for destroying the rats because the lives of devotees are more important. Yes, another point that comes, I think it's in the Buddhist writing, is that one consciously accepts that I may get a reaction for this, and I'm going to accept whatever the reaction is. And here we get some advice about rats. Chili pepper on the floors, ground may keep rats away. It works well. Okay, and yes, Hemangi Gopi and Venupani.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept
Hare
his blessings.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my obeisances. It's wonderful to be with all of you after many, many times, long time. We just arrived in Europe, so now we have opportunity to join. Venupani, you wanted to...
Yeah, I'm thinking about different varnas and ashramas that have different duties. So probably there is a place for taking care of village, taking care of family, and taking care of sannyasis, and so there are certain duties like that that are perhaps unsavory. That there are certain jobs that will do that, like exterminators, and I believe that when they do it, they probably do it in a way that these bugs will not come back and then suffer again when some amateurs are trying to get rid of them. I'm thinking perhaps one and done is better than multiple times trying and wasting time on that. I'm thinking also on Krishna is assuring Arjuna that if he does his duty and focuses just on his duty, not on the karma, that it will be taken care of. Of course, this shouldn't lead in callousness, but at the same time, if devotees do focus on serving Krishna and do the needful, I believe that karma is not our concern.
Okay, that's a good point. Interesting. Maybe there's traditionally a jati, a caste of termite exterminators. And because it's their duty,
or householders can take care of it.
well, that's the other side of it is, the householder, it's understood, is subject to all these reactions because just maintaining the house involves so much killing. Traditionally, there's 5 different things that cause other living entities, usually invisible living entities, to kill. Like it says, just using a mortar and pestle, just grinding your spices, puts the householder in trouble. And lighting a fire, I think. Washing. Yeah. That's why the sannyasi is not supposed to touch fire, not supposed to do any of these things.
And
Yeah.
it's like this is also related to the poem that you read to us this regarding obstacles and how it's like good maybe to see it in a relational context to what is that obstacle relate to, and so how we can now merge deeper and see how like it's related to our constitutional nature and not like temporary nature, so that we can now like better see how to approach to it, and also how this obstacle like ontologically exists, and so like how we can in that regard deal with it. So, and then it's more like a creative way to approach it, and more like playful, playful, not just like so like narrow. Yesterday we were like with our family, we visited some theater, and so this artist, he said now he was telling us what artists like going through, and so different cultural gaps and problems and like that. And so he asked the audience, do we need to explain this or do we not? And someone says yes, someone say no. But actually his point is, when you put in the frame, then people only think that they have this narrow perspective. But then third person, he said, you just continue. And he was smiling. Yes, actually, just to go out of the box, to try to find something completely different, to be a little bit curious about it.
Yeah, false choices.
Yeah.
He presented a false choice. Should we just stop the theater, or should we explain in detail all the nuances of the art? And when finally someone said, no, just keep going, we understand.
Just keep going.
Yeah, and then he was smiling. Finally someone understood that there is not just 2 choices, there is always another choice.
Yeah, that's nice. So this was some kind of very postmodern theater, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very engaged.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, that's also, okay, that's good. So think of the whole situation as postmodern theater, in which we have to think outside the box. I'm seeing some advice here from, thank you, both of you. I'm seeing some practical advice from Ram Avatar. If you want to protect a ... here are some effective methods. I guess he's talking about termites. Find where they're entering and seal any cracks or gaps. Well, apparently they're kind of everywhere. Sprinkle ground cinnamon or apply a few drops of cinnamon essential oil near the entry points. Ants dislike. Okay, that's for ants. I don't know about termites. Termites are very different from ants. And I think they're much more aggressive. Peppermint, clove, food grade diatomaceous earth. Okay. Yeah, sources of food. I think that's all good for ants, but I don't think that'll help with termites. A tincture that protects wood. I don't know. So I'm welcoming any and all suggestions, but yeah, if you want to research about tincture that protects wood. But according to Sundari Mataji, there's only one solution.
But if they're already in the wood.
Yeah, they're in the wood.
They're already inside the wood.
Burn them. Offer them a board, wooden board, and say, please take this.
Please
board."
take this wood. Don't take this one. Yeah, I thought of that. I thought we could just say, look, my dear termites, we will feed you as much as you want. Just don't touch this wood. Here, take that wood. Hare Krishna. Okay, enough of that subject. Shall we have some nectar of devotion? Okay.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Let's see if I have it ready. Yes. Okay. Then soon and share and okay. We have we're continuing with 64 items of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and we've been talking about what? Atma-nivedanam. And we go now to, I guess we can go here. I think we ended here. Offering the body as Atma is illustrated in Bhakti Viveka, just as one does not worry. Oh yeah, we read this one. Worry about an animal that has been sold. One should offer this body to the Lord and be disinterested in its maintenance or sustenance. If one is actually surrendered in body and soul, he should always remember that his only concern is to be engaged in the service of the Lord. We talked about this in relation to the issue of maintaining the body's health, because one could take this as saying, really just forget about the body and just let it get sick, and so on. And we might want to invoke Madhavendra Puri, who apparently made absolutely no efforts for his eating. If somebody gave him something to eat, he would eat, and if not, he would. That's, of course, one possibility, but as Srila Prabhupada would often say, don't imitate. I don't think it's very difficult for any of us to be persuaded to not imitate that particular practice. Yeah, then we had this, I very much like this painting. Because he has offered his body to the Lord, he gives up all activities for pleasure in this life and the next, which nourish his body and things related to that body. The Lord then thinks, I desire to make him special. He then attains freedom from death, amritatvam, and attains similarity to me, atma-bhuyaya. Atma-bhuyaya kalpate. This means that he attains liberation in the form of attaining his swarupa and sarshti, his powers, like those of the Lord. There is this practice, tradition within Jain tradition that a person can, with the permission of the elders only, practice what's called salekana. Salekana means fasting until death. And it's apparently a very kind of scientifically developed process. It's done in a gradual way. And it's done in a very public way. Years ago when I was teaching religions of India, so I wanted to try to keep my students awake. And so one day I showed them a video. It was on YouTube of a Jain monk in his last moments. And he was surrounded by other Jain people, monks and nuns. I think nuns were also there. Yeah, so they have that as a system. We don't have any sort of terminology for that, but I think we could say it's also understood in the Vaishnava tradition. If a person sees there's no more point in maintaining the body, then one may take to fasting as a way to, sort of not delay unnecessarily the struggles of the deteriorating body. But beyond that, here it just says if one really has the sense, this body, it's not mine, just do with it whenever, then that person reaches amritattva, the state of deathlessness. Yeah. Okay, then the next. Surrender of self as mind. Okay, now we had this before, that the word atma can be translated as the non-material self, the spiritual essential being, the jiva, or it can also be translated as body, or it can be translated as mind. So atma-nivedanam means surrendering all three. And so here is a bit of elaboration. What about mind? Surrender of self as mind. And then he's quoting, I guess this is a song from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah. My mind, my household affairs, my body, whatever is in my possession, my dear Lord, I offer to you for your service. Now you can do with them as you like. You are the supreme possessor of everything. So if you like, you can kill me. Or if you like, you can give me protection. All authority belongs to you. I have nothing to claim as my own. And then the next slide. Sampade vipade jivane marane dai mama gela tuva opada barane. Sampade is in fortune, and vipade means in misfortune. Jivane means in life, marane means in death. Dai mama gela. I don't know the exact literal translation, but anyway, it's all up to you, oh Lord. Tuva is to you or of you. O pada barane, maybe at his feet. Okay, surrender of the self to the soul. Sri Yamuna, as soul, sorry, Sri Yamunacharya in his prayers to the Lord has expressed a similar idea in the following words. My dear Lord, I may be living within some body as a human being or as a demigod, but whatever mode of life, I do not mind. Because these bodies are simply byproducts of the three modes of material nature, and I, who am in possession of these bodies, am surrendering myself unto you. Yeah. So it's a kind of declaration. And of course, this is in relation to Sharanagati, of which there are 6 components traditionally. And in his Sharanagati songbook, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of the songs in the section on atma-nivedanam is this one, Manasa Deha Geha Joki Chumor Arpilun Tuapade Nanda Kishore. My mind, my house, my body, it is all yours. I give it to you. And we've gone through all of those songs. It's been some time. Some years ago, we went through all of the Sharanagati songs in the Saturday Sanga. Okay, I need to move this a little bit. Okay. Atma-nivedana, in its pure form, is rare because of the difficulty in execution, not because of having an elevated status, since it may be executed even without bhava. Interesting. However, if atma-nivedanam becomes mixed with emotional relationships, it will become rare because of its elevated status as well. Okay, emotional relationships means relationships with the Lord and perhaps also with his devotees, because it's plural. But the general point is interesting. It's not considered to have an elevated status. Don't quite know what to think about that, but something to think about. Many things to think about. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we have a new item, number 50. One should offer a favorite article such as food or a garment. I remember reading that in San Francisco, 1967, when Srila Prabhupada had them first carve, Shyamasundar carved Lord Jagannath, then they had an installation, which was a very simple installation. They put the deities up on a shelf, and Srila Prabhupada had everyone present offer a candle to them. That was the installation, and they chanted Hare Krishna. Yeah, and he told everyone present, you can offer things to the deities, and so this was the days of the hippies, and so sometimes someone would come in with their new pair of blue jeans and offer them to Lord Jagannath. My dear Lord Jagannath, please accept my blue jeans and please let me take the prasadam. So, yeah. Blue jeans, favorite articles such as food or a garment. I don't know. Blue jeans. Someone is going to make an outfit out of denim material, blue jeans, I suppose. 51, one should take all kinds of risks and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. There's this painting, I don't know who has done this painting, showing Srila Prabhupada just at the time of his departure, apparently, with Krishna blessing him, coming personally and blessing. And then above, it's showing, so there's the Jaladuta, this freighter ship that Prabhupada, it's become kind of legend in itself. It's too bad they couldn't save that ship. You know, it got scrapped many years later, many years ago, many years later. And yeah, scrapped means they reuse much of the iron and so on, I guess. But it just now occurs to me that could be, you know, quite a Prabhupada museum. If it could have been, it could have been saved and kept somewhere. Anyway, then this painting shows a sort of swan ship with Radha Krishna and all the associates, all the. I guess if we could look closer, we could see who is who there. I don't know. Let's see, can we make it bigger? Who is there? No doubt Narada Muni is there.
Lord Chaitanya.
Oh yes, Lord Chaitanya is there in the front. And I guess that's Nityananda next to him. It looks like Ram and Sita are also there.
And other incarnations of Krishna is there.
Oh, right. There's the boar, there's Varaha, and there's Nrsingadev, and there's, looks like Hayagriva in the back, sort of back. And maybe that's Parashuram in the very back. Could be. Yeah. A little bit of creative artistry there. Okay. So in the Narada Pancharatra, let's move this. Whoops. Not only should a devotee engage himself in the prescribed duties of devotional service, which are mentioned in the revealed scriptures, but he should also perform the duties of his practical life in Krishna consciousness. For example, a devotee, is this in the Narada Pancharatra? A devotee who has a great establishment or factory may offer the fruits of such a material possession for the service of the Lord. And that's exactly what we have as we speak. We are sitting in the Janardhan Yoga Studio, which is the fruit of Jagannath Hari's snacks factory. And wait, I do this. Commercial break. We're getting a promotion now. This is Jagannath Hari. And oh, the trouble is it's on fuzzy. I have to change the setting. Well, I can do that. Let's see. Go out, video, blur background, no. Okay. So then you get to visit the Janardhan. This is our big congregation here. And this is
The others are cooking.
the others are, yeah, the others are cooking. They're working in the factory. Hare Krishna. Okay. Let me see what we have in the comments. Krishna Ragini from Timisoara. I once asked Suhotra Maharaj about it, and he answered that we anyway kill a lot of bacterias in our mouths while chewing food. The Vedas condemn only unnecessary killing, so if one's life is endangered, one should defend. Okay, I don't know if we can say our lives are endangered by the termites, but and Hriday Ram says in his special English, I'm thinking human being, that is being, is higher form of life and must protect own existence, especially devotees' house. Yeah, okay. And Odarya Chandrika says, with these beautiful prayers of atma-nivedanam, obstacles lose all their power. actually, the only obstacle might be thinking you aren't a surrendered soul just because you are so humble. Well, yes, or we might go back to the statement of the Bhagavatam, and it might be good to end with Bhagavatam. Where was that? I won't post it. Yeah. There is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking others' subject matters to be more pleasing than one's self-realization. Again, this is Canto 4, Chapter 22, verse 32, Sanat Kumar to King Prithu. So is talking about extermination of termites. Are we thinking it's more interesting than our self-realization? I hope not. Silence. Everyone is silent. Something to think about. Well, I hope we have given you some food for thought today, and I hope you can remember Lord Chaitanya causing havoc in his house. You know the word havoc? Havoc is just complete chaos, and how his mother is distressed by this. And at the same time, she is apparently feeling some sort of ecstasy. And that means love is complicated. So maybe that's the final conclusion. And especially love of Krishna, love of Godhead is complicated. Okay, let me see. Are we meeting? I think next week I'm traveling. Oh, Sunday No, wait, we're traveling. Yes, you're right. Sunday, early we're traveling. Okay. So yes, we can meet again next week. Should be possible. And I think we can meet in this very same place. So, let me remind everyone, I'm going to make everyone very tired of hearing this, but let me remind you, you're all welcome to read and then write about something from 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hemangi Gopi, you wanted to comment?
It's really fun.
Guru Maharaj, it occurred to me that it seems that in Krishna-lila, it was all the other ladies complaining to Mother Yashoda in order to see how Krishna is going to handle getting in trouble, and in this way encourage that rasa of how mischievous Krishna is. And in this particular lila, it was Madhushachi who then called other ladies to show how Nima is mischievous.
Yes. Yeah, so there's some sort of parallel there, isn't it? Yes, very good. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining us. I notice, some are with us here rather than online. So that's good. So I'll just say, chant Hare Krishna, or try to chant Hare Krishna and be happy and keep safe and keep sane, and Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Jai.
Saturday Sanga ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Haribol, Haribol. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
you.